Spiritual folks or people who want to be spiritual. If you are interested in connecting to your intuition, trusting yourself and listening to your intuition, this video is for you. I'm going to give you a real easy, super applicable tip that you can start using today. Because here's the thing, trusting yourself, even though ultimately you're building this big sense of trust, it's going to start in the little moments, in the little steps, in the small moments of your day. Skill that you can develop that if you give yourself 5 minutes a day to do this, over the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to notice the effects of it compounding, accelerating, and growing in your life to such a great degree. You're going to give yourself 5 minutes a day. And in this 5 minutes, you're going to do 3 things. And ideally, if you can have this 5 minutes be in a natural setting, that's the best. The only time you can schedule the 5 minutes is at the end of the day, and it doesn't feel safe to go outside in the dark. I totally understand that. And I also want to say, if you can go to a porch or a balcony and look at the stars for this, that is equally helpful. That is equally good. I'm going to give you this lovely view. It's a simple view, the sound of the water, but it's easy to discount simple things. It doesn't mean that they're less impactful. Like, is this creek a supernatural wooded outdoor environment? Well, yes and no. I'm not stuck, but I'm in the middle of a neighborhood here. But here's a moment of the creek flowing, of wildflowers growing, of grasses. This perspective shift that I'm engaging you with is something that is the first part of this. I want you to, for at least 1 minute of your time developing your intuition, connecting in, to pause and just take everything in around you. I would say of your 5 minutes, this should be 1 to 2 of your minutes, even 3 if you need it. So just pausing, looking at whatever nature you have. If you don't have nature, can you look at something in your house, like a house plant, an altar space, a crystal, something beautiful to rest your eyes upon? And you don't have to do a full-on meditation. Just take a few deep breaths, let your body settle, give yourself that time with no agenda, no intention other than simply taking a deep breath and taking in your surroundings. One of the biggest things about intuition is creating the space for stillness, creating the space for noticing. And that's why I say, of the 5 minutes that you have, you can have 2 to 3 minutes be purely for this. I'm gonna sit on this rock for a minute. So that's the first part. You're taking it all in, taking a deep breath. The next part is, I want you to tune in for a moment to anything that you're feeling in your body, either physically or emotionally. What are you feeling physically or emotionally in your body? You may want to have a journal for this part. And I always recommend, when you're developing your intuition, having a journal where you can be noting things down is so helpful, because you might not have somebody to reach out to every day and be like, this happened and now I got to tell you about this. Have your journal there. Have your notebook where you can, if you want to journal, jot down how you're feeling, great. Otherwise, just noticing how you're feeling. For the last minute that you're doing this, you're going to do 2 things. First, you're going to take several inhales and exhales. And on the inhale, you're picturing that you're drawing back to you with the intake of your breath everything that's yours, any part of you that you've left behind, any part of your consciousness, your mental awareness that's somewhere else, any part of your energy you've given to somebody else. And don't worry if you're like, I don't really know how to do that. Just set the intention and visualize that all the parts of you that are yours are coming back to you. That is with your inhale. And with your exhale, you are picturing, you are imagining that you're releasing everything that does not serve you moving forward right now, everything that is not yours, everything that's not your responsibility, everything that you don't need to hold on to. All of that, you're just releasing it away. That's the first part of this. I would do that for 2 or 3 breaths, whatever you feel is necessary till you notice a change. And if you don't notice a change, that's okay. Do it for 3, and then we're going to move on. So after those 3 breaths of in and out, bringing everything back to you that's yours, releasing everything that's not. With the next 30 or so seconds, what I want you to do is sit with yourself, and if there's a question that you have about your life right now, great. Like, if I would keep it as small as possible. So a question, like, let's say you're thinking, should I break up with so-and-so? Should I move? Whatever. I don't think it's best to start with big questions, because if you're not ready to act on a big question, it can actually feel counterproductive. So start with something smaller. What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to wear tomorrow? What am I going to do about that one email I have to send? Something that you could do in the next day or two, preferably the next day. Something you could do in the next day that's small, that's manageable, that you want to have a thought about, a wondering, a curiosity. It does not have to be a big deal. When I'm developing this, I really focused on super easy things like, what am I going to wear? What route am I going to take when I'm going to school or going to work? I keep it super simple to allow myself to notice what the calling is from inside of me, what the feeling is that tells me this one versus that one right away. So if you commute to work, that would be a perfect example. What way should I go to work tomorrow? Who should I call tomorrow? Open-ended questions are perhaps not the best, but if you feel great to go into that, great. Yes or no questions are ideal for right now. Should I use certain kind of Epsom salts before in my bath tonight? Should I put lavender essential oil on my pillow? Should I send that one last text to that person? Something really small that you don't have a lot of emotions already about. And do this every day, just these little moments, because what you're doing is in small ways. You're noticing how you feel, you're noticing how you tune in, and what your intuition, what your inner self is telling you about these things. It's so much easier to start with the little ones and build up that trust about small, tiny decisions that kind of don't mean that much in the grand scheme of things, which means something in the moment now, and which builds up the resilience for you and the habit of tuning into what's within you. It's very common for most people to have been used to, over the course of your life, from your parents, school, employers, society, to be offloading, to be ignoring your own inner wisdom, your own insight. And I want you to come back to that. I want you to reintroduce yourself to it, reconnect yourself to it, so that you can be thoroughly committed to noticing your intuition and listening to your intuition, and trusting yourself that what you're receiving is incredibly beneficial. Let me know what part of this you'd like me to go deeper into, make another video to clarify, or riff on it in a new way. Also, feel free to reach out to me. I do one-on-one sessions, and I would love to work with you if you want to work one-on-one to developing this within yourself.